Hello, and welcome to Take Me Through Your Day, a deep dive into the daily lives of people with professions you've heard of but might not know too much about. On today's episode, we're interviewing a production assistant. Now, he's only been doing it for a month, but I think this is a really important window into that world. Now, this is only our first episode, and we're still kind of fiddling with the format, and we have the whole season in the bag right now, but it's just a little warning that, things get a little looser and get a little smoother in the episodes, as they go on. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope it's informative for everybody. And if you know someone who might be interested in doing an interview, or you yourself do something that, you might think people would be interested in the nitty-gritty, you can get a hold of us at our Instagram page at TakeMeTYD. That's at TakeMeTYD. I don't know why I said it like that. Whatever the case, enjoy the show. Send some feedback. We love all of it. Thanks a lot. Give us your name and your job title.
Dylan, I'm a locations PA for a show on CBS.
All right, you ready to take us through your day?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so in the morning, what time do you wake up?
That varies. It can be...
Okay, let's just take an average day, just pick one, and we'll shoot through that.
4 in the morning. Usually.
Okay, let's say 4 in the morning. You an alarm guy? You got something on your phone?
Yeah, but I'm learning to wake up before it.
Okay, that's good. Motherfucker. I'm gonna edit through this. It's just gonna let it roll. Okay, so you wake up at 4 in the morning. What's your routine like? Just walk us through a little bit of what you do once you get out of bed.
Oh, I make sure the night before, I should say the day before, I prep everything up until, the clothes I'm going to wear, the coffee is made, my walkie's ready, my earpiece is ready, everything is ready. So as soon as I wake up, I put it all together and I'm out the door as quick as possible because it's very important that I'm early. They really do not like you being late at all.
Okay, so when your alarm goes off or you wake up before it, you're just out of bed, just straight.
Oh, yeah.
You're up and you're out.
Hopping out of bed, getting ready, and getting to the car as soon as possible because they don't care if there's traffic. If there's traffic, that's still your fault. You should have been up. That you should have been up early enough where you can predict that and you're still on time.
Okay, so I take it you're not a shower in the morning kind of guy.
I was.
So now what's your routine? Like just when you get home and you're just like, let's wash this day off of me.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because this is a much dirtier job than I thought it would be.
Okay. Yeah. So all right, you're on your way to work. You public transportation. You taking your own car. What do you do?
You have to have your own car.
Okay.
There's no way to do this if you didn't have your own car.
All right, you got a rough commute. I imagine it changes all the time. What kind of commute time are you looking at?
Well, no, the commute doesn't change as much as I originally thought it would because we're mainly in a studio. It's 31st Studios underneath the bridge in Pittsburgh. And we have a set there, but then they also have a lot of different sets around the city and outside of the city. We were just past New Kensington the other day, but mainly my commute is about 20 minutes, but that's because I'm driving my car to the locations van where we have all the equipment for locations.
So you swap out your car for the van?
Yeah.
Okay, that works. What are you listening to on your commute? Anything?
Oh, podcasts.
Anyone in particular you're fond of? Lately, it doesn't have to. It's not important.
It's obviously Joe Rogan, Blind Boy podcast.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so you're on set now. You've got the van. You're there. What's the first thing you're doing?
First thing my manager will say, we need tents for DIT, which I'm still new to it, so I don't know what that means. But
we should tell the people how long you've been doing this. It's been a little bit, right?
This big of a show, it's been a month. Before this, I was just PAing small commercials, which was really easy. There wasn't much to do, but
how many hours a week do you think you're working now? Rough estimate.
I don't even. If we're talking 15 to 17 hours a day.
Okay,
Monday through Friday.
Okay, so you have to go get the tents. You set them up.
Set them up for Camera Village, which is where all the producers sit. The producers, the actors, to watch over the scene as it's happening. And then DIT, which is they're also just watching the scene and paying attention to the timing. And there's Scripty, which is just one person paying attention and making sure that everything is happening exactly the way the script says it's happening. So we put up tents for them. We make sure there's garbage cans placed around the set and everything. Just so, like, if we're at someone's house, we're not using their garbage.
Yeah, I mean,
so it doesn't matter where we are. We have to provide garbage cans. And the producers for this show really like to recycle, so
good.
Recycling there.
They don't want to do that. Okay, so you get that set up. How long are we talking to get all that done?
We can get it done now within 15 minutes, I'd say.
Okay, nice. So that takes care of the first 15 minutes of your shift.
Of the 16 hours.
So next, someone comes up to you and just gives you another task, or is there something that you're like, all right, I know that I've done this, now I have to move on to something?
Nope. It's always something different because each location requires different things. If we're shooting in a bar that has air conditioning, we were just shooting at a bar in Arnold, PA, and they needed the air conditioning shut off when they're shooting, and they want it back on when they cut. That required me, also 3 fans that had 3 different remotes to turn them off. So I had to turn the air conditioning off by going to a panel to the right, panel to the left, and then going all the way downstairs and flicking a switch.
Now, is this something someone walks you through this, or you got to figure that out on your own?
I got to figure it out.
Okay, so
while people are impatiently waiting.
Oh yeah, that's the best kind of work.
Yeah. And it's
okay. So you get that done. What you get another task? What is there any?
A lot of it's waiting. A lot of it's, and that's worse than having to figure out what you're gonna do and
just standing around.
Standing around. And,
I hate that.
And waiting for the call on the walkie. Locations, we need you for blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I don't know how those PennDOT people just stand there and turn a sign. That's your shift. Stand there. Stand there all day.
I had one where I had to just turn off refrigerators that for hours, for 4 or 5 hours. Like
that
when
sounds
they're
ridiculous.
shooting, you have to, they'll say, all right, we're set to camera. And it's like, okay, all right, now I got to shut all these different things off. And remember, 5 different, refrigerators to turn off. And then when they're cut, you turn it back on. And that could be your job. One of my jobs was taking people up and down an elevator for 9 hours.
I mean, I believe that was a career back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's just what you do.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. There's some old-timey buildings down in Oakland that still have a little chair.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's cute.
And they had to pull the fence.
Yeah, that there was a point where someone was like, I would rather pay someone a salary than trust these awful tenants to press their own buttons.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're done with that. What is there a point in the day, like, obviously there's a lunch break or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's always 6 hours after call is your appointed lunch.
And people have different appointed lunch breaks? I imagine with a crew that big.
Teamsters and the higher up people, they go first. But for some reason, if you're a locations PA, you're kind of with the Teamsters on that time. I don't fully understand why, but I get to eat first as a locations PA.
That's nice.
Yeah, because usually PAs, they eat absolutely last. They're always the last people to eat. And that sucks because when you go to catering and you're the last people you're getting.
Yeah, it's slim pickings at that point, I imagine.
Yep.
All right, so how long do you have for lunch? What are you looking at?
Half hour.
Half hour? Okay, that's reasonable. Done with lunch?
Not really, man. Not really. That goes... But also, as a PA, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're not in the union, there's been so many times I've been eating my lunch and gotten a call on the walkie and had to just scarf it down as much as I can and just throw it away and just go. Because they're like, you're a PA. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you don't matter. You know that nice meal you just prepared for yourself?
There's
put it in the
job.
trash.
I'm eating my meal, and I need you to go so I can finish my meal because you're a PA. You need to go.
Yeah. Low man on the totem pole.
Yeah.
All right. So you wrap up. Let's call it a call like that. You get called out while you're eating. What do you do? Let's get a random...
It's so hard. There's so many weird things that they call on me for, or my coworker.
Okay, well, we're just trying to power through a day here, so let's just pick one day, and then we'll get to the end of it.
All right. Are you saying like what's an instance in which they interrupted my lunch?
Yeah. Sure.
It can be simply, hey, we parked the Teamsters parked a generator, and we don't want anyone parking in front of that generator. So we need you guys to drive 15 to 20 minutes because we don't have one road cone, and we need you to put one road cone in front of that generator.
Yes, and that's far more important than your meatball sandwich or whatever.
To them, of course, to them. You know, they don't want to get inconvenienced and have to. I mean, when you really think about it, if a car does, suppose you're in a downtown area, you're not in a neighborhood, you're downtown, and someone parks their car in front of the generator where the Teamsters need to lock it up to a truck and drive it away. You're downtown.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal.
How the hell, other than calling the cops and being like, can you run this person's plate? They can run the plate and be like, yeah, that's who this is. And we don't know how to find them. You know, so like, I can justify a lot of their...
Why they do what they do. Like, it does make sense on a grand scheme. Like,
That's why it's like, if me and my coworker were eating lunch and they have that, we roll our eyes, but it's really like, we do need to get down there. There's a reason why they're like,
Okay, so you got that done, and you finished putting your single cone down.
Yeah.
And where you go next? You just head right back to the set.
Yeah, we want to. You try to. Like, depending on which manager we're working for.
So basically, it's a lot of waiting for tasks.
Yeah.
It's either waiting or you're doing something and now you have to do something else. And
you want to try to stay busy. A lot of times we have to do garbage sweeps because we're at a location that, granted we paid them money to be there, but we can't leave it dirty. So, if you're standing around doing nothing, go do a garbage sweep, see if there's anything you can pick up and throw away, and make sure that when we leave there, it's clean.
So I imagine there's some other just idling jobs where it's just like, well, I'm not doing anything, but I'll look busy if I go do that. Or is there other little things around?
Not really.
What do you do to fill the time when there's nothing going on? I imagine they don't want you to like play on your phone or something.
Nope.
You bring a book, magazine?
Nope.
Nothing?
You got to stand diligently.
Wow.
You have to just. It's weird. We were shooting in an old people's home 2 days ago, and there was a younger kid on set, and I can tell he was a new PA because of how he was standing.
Oh, that's the tell?
Yeah.
I was
I knew he was new because he just, you can just tell the way he was standing that he was like, what the hell is going on? I don't know what to do. The only thing I could do is stand here and wait. And the more experience you get, you just stand different. It sounds weird, but you just stand
I get
different.
It. Yeah, because I hate that.
Yeah.
As I've had jobs where like everyone's like just busting their ass and going a million miles an hour, and you're there standing. You're like, I want to help.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you stand there until we need you for something specific.
And that's the thing with working on shows or anything is each job is very specific. Just like in locations, the bar that needed the air conditioning turned on and off. Someone else in that bar while I was tending to the outside crew could have done what I was doing. But it's simply not their job. They will say that's not my job. Yes, I could do it, but it's not my job. And it could be very simple. I just met a guy, he's in special effects. And his one job for this entire 6-month shoot is to smoke out the scene, which means he gets a fog machine and smokes out the whole scene. It's his only job, and he's making, as he says, a ridiculous amount of money.
Hey, Hollywood.
It's all he does. And if he was sitting there, the scene is smoked, he knows it's done, and you say, hey, man, can you go grab that garbage out of there? He could say, not my job. I smoked the scene.
I did my thing.
Yeah, he did his thing. And he's not wrong.
Yeah. So essentially, this gig is more or less of a catch-all for, just the odds and ends of like, we're not going to put this in a job description when you sign up for it, but you're probably going to end up doing it. Yeah. You're the guy.
Yeah. No, I'd much rather be a locations PA than a set PA, because I watch the set PAs running around, and I've done it, and my brain doesn't operate that way. But I mean, I'll listen to their walkie, and it is just chaos. It's chaos their entire shift. At least with a locations PA, I get to sit back. They'll say, hey, lock up that part of the road. And so I'm standing there, locking it up, making sure cars don't go past or anything, but I at least get
Can't go past. Locking it up. Move
locking
along.
it up.
Locking it up over here. Move along.
But the amount of people that get mad about that, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, if you interrupt anyone's
daily routine.
Yeah, it's the worst. But you said someone got a gun pulled on them the other day?
That's one way to just...
I'm throwing that out there. We talked about it before we started recording. Just a little story off topic, but I got to hear the story.
It's one of the problems with, I think the managers not understanding. My managers are locations managers. So it's their job to scout for the location and follow the description in the script and kind of find as close a place as possible that matches what the script and the director wants. And I'd say a lot of times they'll find places and kind of dismiss if the area is a good area, as in like a safe area. Mm-hmm. And they're just excited and just go like, that is perfect. That'll work. We were in one of those bad places yesterday, and one of the unarmed security guards that was
unarmed. They're all unarmed, or he just happened.
Oh yeah, they're all unarmed. They're just guys that sit in a chair, and they have a special suit on. And a guy came around the work trucks, which he was quote unquote guarding, with a gun and was screaming at him. One of the grips told me he was screaming at him because they were in his drug spot.
That's why he just blew the whistle on himself. He's like, hey man, I do drugs here.
No, he sells drugs.
Oh, sorry.
He's trying to sell some drugs.
The worst of the two scenarios. Hey man, I sell drugs here.
Can you move your trucks or I'll shoot you?
Yeah.
So,
trying to run a small business here, man.
and the ironic thing is it worked because they moved. And so that just validates that one guy's powers. He went in, said, "Give me my drug spot back." And this big production just moved, and he got his drug spot back. Yeah. But
and he's telling his boys that story just till the end of time.
I got all these trucks to move, and
hey, remember that show such and such?
Mm-hmm.
I got them to move their whole production.
But what was the question before that?
Before that?
Oh no, there wasn't. No, you just sprung that on.
It's difficult to get through your day because there isn't really a solid one to nail down.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I was just kind of like going into some of the other questions I have for you.
When people ask me like, "What did you do today?" and it's like, you're asking me that on the 4th day of my 17-hour day. You know, like you're asking me. These days just melt all together because when you're waking up to work and then going to sleep and waking up to work, and it's not a 12-hour day, you know, like a 12-hour day, you can manage your mental time. You can't do that. Me and my coworker worked an 18-hour day, and it just couldn't even really tell you what did you do. Sometimes my coworker will say, "Where were we yesterday?" It's like, I have no idea. I have no idea where we were yesterday because they all melt together.
Speaking of those difficult questions, because we can get into the other parts of your day now that we've established it's kind of erratic. What did you have for breakfast yesterday?
Well, that's what's fantastic about one of the things that's fantastic about this job is the food.
So you can just get up, roll, and you'll have something waiting for you.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't been to the store to buy food since I started this job at all.
Also, a good little thing to put out there. Like, I don't grocery shop anymore.
I don't. I really don't. It's when I've gone a few times for late night snacks, but that's just me personally. Sometimes I wake up and I need something small. Hence the cereal you saw.
Yeah, and the industrial thing of coffee.
Yeah, the bucket of coffee. But no,
Oops, all berries.
when you go to set, depending on your department, there's 2 things with the food. There's catering, which is breakfast and lunch.
Yeah.
And they put out a trough. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
a trough of food 2 times a day. Then Crafty, they follow us set to set. And they have their own tent, their own trailer, where it's so easy to get fat working the things like this. It's so easy because anytime you're bored, you can go to the Crafty and get cupcakes, candy, or eat, and they put out healthy as well. There's fruit. There's all sorts of things. I noticed that I only notice fruit. It's cupcakes, candy. But then twice a day, Crafty will put out. Yesterday, they had a whole thing to make your own tacos.
Oh,
chicken, beef. It's crazy. There's no need for me to buy groceries. It's a fantastic thing, and I always envied people that worked in restaurants. They got a meal a day, or even were able to eat throughout the day. And it's like, dude, you don't have to pay for food. That's $150.
Yeah, exactly.
Off your monthly thing.
At least. Yeah. Working in restaurants, that is a perk. Until, of course, you get sick of whatever thing that your restaurant is, which is very, very easy.
Well, I remember we were filming actually right down here, and one of the Teamsters was like, I'm going over to McDonald's. And I said, whoa, wait. I was like, you'd rather McDonald's than our free catered food? And he was like, you'll see.
You'll see.
And it's true. You do each time is different, but you get tired. There's a very standard quality to the catering.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not cafeteria food, but it's just good enough.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, once in a while I do want some McDonald's. Rather than that, I'll pay for it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say again, let's just go with that 4 a.m. call time day. When are you wrapping up?
They try to give you a 12-hour window from wrap to start the next day. They try to give you a 12-hour window, but that only applies to the big guys.
Yeah.
The PAs, especially locations PAs, we are the first ones in, last ones out. So if I wake up at, let's suppose the call time is at 6 a.m. That means my call time as a locations PA is going to be 4:30 a.m.
Okay.
Did I say p.m.?
I wasn't.
Okay, well, six. Let's say the call time is 6 a.m. That means I got to be there by 4:30 a.m., which means I have to wake up at 2:30, 3,
Jesus.
which will probably be Monday coming up here. I can expect to be home. Like they'll wrap, because I can't tell you like when they wrap, because that's up to the AD, the assistant director, and all those people. I'm happy if they wrap at 10:45.
Okay.
Like I'm happy with that. But a lot of times, last night I got home at 2:50 in the morning, and I was there at 8, I believe.
Okay, so basically what I'm getting at here, that's all good answers, by the way. But I'm thinking, okay, if your call time is at, what would you say, 4:30?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say it's 3:30 later that day, and you have to mentally be like, all right, how much longer do I think I'm going to be stuck here? Where do you mentally go?
Oh, I don't. I don't.
I don't understand. In a scenario where you will have time to stand around and literally stand the right way.
Yeah, stand the right way.
You stand the right way. Yeah. How do you mentally just like in school when you're looking at a clock and you're like, I know as soon as that clock hits that, I'll have 10 minutes and then I'm out of here. Is there any equivalent to this job?
You lose sense of time. You have to. It happened yesterday. There was a very nice woman security guard, and she said, "What time is it?" And I said, "I think it's around like 4:00." And she was like, "Well, let me." And she didn't want to like get her phone out of her pocket. And she got her phone out. She was like, "No, it's 7:30." So that's like the gap.
All right, so good. There's just a nice window of just like, I'm not sure what time it is,
and I don't want to know.
I don't want to. Yeah.
It's just like when you ask like what's the wrap time. Usually it's like I'm happy if it's 15 hours. Like because you have to put your mind there. You can't say you can't start your day and say, I hope it's an 11-hour wrap, because it's not going to be. Sometimes it is, but you can't put your head there. You have to lose all concept of time. When I first started, I would look at my phone and be like, I have 13 more hours of this. And it's like, you can't afford to have that mentality. You have to be on set. You have to try. You have to not be bitter at the work you're doing. You have to have fun. You have to be in the moment and appreciate what's going on, and make friends and have small. That's one thing I've learned to appreciate with this is you meet people and you have these very good talks with people in each department, and you get to know them and. Very brief, but it's like you have to.
So you have to get in the headspace of like, I live here now.
Exactly.
I have to.
Exactly.
I'm never going to leave.
Exactly.
Let's just live
This
here.
is my home. Yeah.
This is my home.
These people are the people I'm going to be around, and there's no concept of time. I remember talking to a guy, Mark. I'm not sure what he does, but he does a lot. And I asked him, I said, how do you get used to like this time, like doing this all day, every day? And I think he sensed like my doubt in what we were doing. And he said, yeah, you got to make this your life. If you can't do it, this ain't for you.
Yes,
I was just like,
we have to break you, and if you don't, then you're out.
Yeah, you got to be able to deal with it. I asked the crafty guy's name is Spike, and he's one of the best people on set. And said, "How you dealing with the time, man?" And he was like, "What? what do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, you're just used to this. It's not even a thing to you." Working, I could be working till 3 a.m. It doesn't matter, and then I'll wake up at 7 a.m. These people are just crazy, and I kind of look forward to sleep deprivation not being a problem to me.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. Speaking of, and being on the same topic of time, let's say it's your worst case scenario. You feel terrible. You can't wait for this day to be over. Do you attach like a worst case scenario time in your head? Like I know if everything goes wrong and I'm here for the longest amount possible, like what is my end time in that scenario?
Wait, what do you mean? Like,
I mean, like you feel like garbage and you're just looking forward to when to leave, but you're also bracing yourself for being here as long as humanly possible. Like, what's the max out?
There is none. There's a crazy calm that happens. I remember we were shooting at a school in, I think, Wilmerding, actually. It doesn't matter.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And it was our first real late shoot. And I was falling asleep, like, as I was working.
Yeah.
And
hey, that kid over there, stand sleeping. Go tousle him a little bit.
No, I'm like moving.
Oh.
And I'm moving around, and Caleb is my coworker is, he's going like, buddy, this is bad. And I start laughing because at a certain point, I don't know if this answers your question, but you just accept what the hell is going on, The one thing I can say is, like, the way I deal with bad days and bad nights like that is I go like, this is a new peak of stress, and now I can say with my next day, it's like, at least it's not like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be better than that.
It's gonna be better than that one. And it works, and I think it makes you a better person.
Yeah,
Just
I can imagine
life.
it's almost not Navy SEAL training by any means, but it is definitely putting your brain through something.
Yeah, and it's gonna. I'm hoping it's gonna make other parts in life a lot easier.
Oh, I imagine if you get through stuff like that, it always makes you a better person overall.
Yeah.
So is there any pet peeves you picked up on already? Just on set?
Like personal pet peeves?
Things that drive you nuts that aren't necessarily related to the job, but have popped up a lot that really just get you like, well, that didn't need to happen like that.
To be honest, I'm not at a point yet where I like deserve to have pet peeves.
Yeah, I know. It's
like,
bold coming in there saying that you've only been doing it for a month and you have a pet peeve.
Yeah, I have.
Just put it in this scenario. Say everything just goes consistently like this, and you just get better at the job. What do you foresee being something that would really get on your nerves?
If I stay in locations, all right.
Yeah, let's just put that scenario out there.
My manager, I shouldn't say, no, I'm not going to say what he said about them, but he doesn't like extras.
Like the people that come in and...
Yeah, he doesn't like extras. Because let's suppose we're using your house and we ought to bring 40 strangers into your house and we're responsible for what those 40 strangers...
I can imagine, that attracts a certain type of person too as well.
Yeah. For some reason, they mess up the bath, like mess up toilets. They mess them up. They clog them up. I can imagine that becoming, because I remember we were at a hospital and we made these cartoonish big signs. I mean, 4 or 5 foot high signs.
Yeah.
Because we were on the second floor of this hospital because only the first floor was operational. And it said, there's no running water. Do not use toilets.
Yeah.
And the extras used a toilet and it ran down to the operational first floor.
Ooh.
In the hospital. And we made these big signs. And when my manager at the time, when he would say the things he would say about extras, I'd be like, Jesus, man, like, they're people. And he just, in his line of work, he has a job to do, and he's reining these people together, and they're messing his job up. And he gives them very simple instructions, such as a huge sign saying, do not, and we even give you directional signs to the bathrooms. Like a child can follow these directional signs. I can imagine that being a pet peeve, but I mean, me so far.
Yeah, just roll with it. Why not?
It's for me. It's people's attitudes. The higher ups' attitudes is a pet peeve that I'm gonna have to try to get over.
Yeah, I imagine that the higher ups of everyone have the most pet peeves because they've dealt with the most problems over the years.
That's a way to put it. That's actually a good way for me to empathize with them.
Yeah, it's just hard, like they've put up with this for so long. Yeah. I mean, I know you've worked a specific job for a long period of time and you get to learn like, oh, this bothered me back then, but now it really bothers me.
Yeah. I'm going to take that with me to try next time they're yelling at me for something that isn't my fault.
Yeah,
that happens.
I imagine there's a lot of that.
Yeah, it happens.
And just out of sheer frustration, just why doesn't everyone know how to do this?
Yeah,
because I know how to do this. I've been doing it for a century. Anyway, let's see. Do we get when you wrap yourself? Like when you're like, I am done. Like end of the day duties.
End of the day duties is the most hectic part of the day.
Okay.
Because that's, by example, we were down at a location which was a woman's house in the bad area that I was saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We put rugs down all over the floors. We had to bring in our own air conditioners, as they call them, R2D2s. Because they don't look like that, but apparently they did at some point.
Someone said it and it caught on. Like, all right, very funny. Yeah. Very funny, Steve. All right,
there's a lot of
R2D2s here.
There's a lot of those jokes, especially at the end of the night. At the end of the night, I turn my walkie off. That's when all the PAs make their little flirty jokes. But anyways.
No, that's a good thing to mention, because like that has got to be a liberating feeling. It's like, I get to turn this off now. Like, I'm done.
Oh, it is. It's like, but that's when like all the PAs get their free range. Like, we could say what we want and make our stupid jokes, and I just like click. It took me about 3 weeks to be like, oh, I don't have to listen to this. I don't care. You guys are very corny. But at the end of the night, that's the most hectic. and you want to get home. Let's suppose they wrap.
Yeah, you get the green light, and
yeah,
you're just like, let's go.
It goes for shooting. It's the Abbey, which is next to the last shot, and then the not Margarita.
We don't know. We don't need to go all inside baseball on this, but it's a general idea.
They'll say that this is the final shot. This is the final shot, and when you hear that, it's like, all right, here we go. And if you're in locations, you're like, you start thinking, okay, I got to get the rugs, I got to get the 5 garbage cans, I have to close the 3 room, which is a bathroom with 3 doors. It's a small trailer. I got to do this, I got to do that. There's cones I got to get. It's the most stressful part of the day, and it's the end of your day.
Yeah.
So they wrap up, and now you got the grips, you got the electric, you got the art department, the camera department. They're all loading their stuff in. So you're standing there, jumping up and down, waiting for them to go so you can move in, because it's already 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating.
And your call time, you get your call time for the next day, and they'll be like, call time's 9 a.m. And then you calculate, that means I have to be here at 7 a.m. and it's 2 a.m. and they're loading things in. It's like, so you're ready to go, and you'll never move faster in your life.
Wow. Yeah, that's nuts.
And you can't forget things too. That I remember starting this, my manager would call me like, I'm driving around with garbage in my car. Do you know why? It's like, because we forgot to tell the garbage man to pick it up. It's like, because you're flustered, you're running around, you want to get home.
Yeah.
It's 17 hours, you want to be home.
Okay, so that basically wraps your day up. But let's stick with that scenario of it's 2 a.m. and you got to be on set at 7. Okay, so you drive home. What do you listen to? Podcast? Nothing? Music?
Nothing.
It's just a quiet ride home.
Because you're so emotionally and physically like spent isn't even the word. You're not there anymore. That you can't emotionally attach yourself to anything. Yeah. Like I did it. I was like, let me put on some music. Nope, that's not working. Let me put on a podcast. This podcast, that podcast. And it's like, nope, I have to just be here. I have to be here by myself, drive home, and then you get home and you sit in your bed, and it's like, I have to take my boots off. I don't have the energy to do so, but I'm going to try. You take your boots off. I've fallen asleep just in my bed, just dirty.
Dirty, boots on.
It's just dirty. It's fascinating because I thought it would just be me, but I would sit on my bed. I wouldn't turn the TV on. I'd turn a small light on, and I would just sit there with nothing going on in my head. And it's literally your brain trying to just go, what the hell did you just do for 17 hours? You know, you can't even process it, and you're asleep. It's like you drink until you're blacked out. You just wake up again. Like, oh, wow. I need to go back to work now.
Yeah, that's nuts. All right, so again, in that scenario, it's like, you can fit a shower in anywhere in there?
Sometimes. In the beginning, you find a way.
But also, like, in that scenario, too, he's like, all right, you don't have time for a shower. Like, that's it. Like, what do you go on set? Like, this is me.
Yeah.
Noses beware.
See, I have to be clean. It would affect my work, my quality of work. My coworker one day was like, man, I'm not doing too good. I haven't showered in like 3 days. It's bad. And I'm like, dude, no, like I'm going to find some time for a shower. But when I first started the show, like, yeah, I went like 3 days without a shower because I couldn't acclimate to the time. And now it's like, no, I'm going to, even if I'm tired at the end of the night, it's 1 a.m. I'm hopping in the shower, because I know that when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to feel way better.
Yeah.
It's weird. You find a way. You find a way to change your routine, and I'm very routine based. Now I go to the gym once a week instead of 6 days a week, and
just changing it all. That's
finding a way to be okay with that. That it's hard, but you find a way to be okay with that as long as you're doing it. And
so, what do you do now? Like, say you were 6 days a week at the gym. How long? Hour, 2 hours?
Oh, at the gym when I'm there?
Well, no, when you used to be versus the one day you get to go now.
Oh, when I was going 6 days a week, it was about 2 hours. Now when I go once a week, I try to make it 3 hours because I'm doing full body
just trying to get it all in
instead of
in one
isolation.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
There's no more just arm day.
All right, we basically wrapped here. We do a little speed round at the end just for fun, just to kind of get the stressful tension of like, holy shit, this is my life, into something fun. So I'm just gonna go random here. Favorite candy?
Whoppers.
Whoppers. Wow.
It's because they are the ones on set. But now that I got 1 second more thought resonance. But as of
another
late,
interesting choice. Good. I like them both.
As of late, it's been Whoppers.
Okay. Spicy? No spicy.
Spicy.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Your tipping etiquette. What do you like to do?
My mom's been a waitress for 25 years. I do not do the 20% thing. I do a normal $5 thing. I don't care how much the meal is. $5, even if you're shit.
And this is just yourself eating.
Yeah. If you need it, but if you're a good waitress and I connect with you and you don't give me that fake stuff that, how are we doing? Like I'm a child. But if you're a good waitress down to earth, you're getting $6 or $7.
All right, nice. Favorite vegetable? You're at a diner, you get to pick from anything you want. It's going to be good. What do you...
It has to be broccoli.
Broccoli? All right, another good choice. Shoes. Do you have a shoe preference on your days off? Do you like a brand? Are you brand loyal?
On my day off, yeah, it's Converse.
Converse? Okay. Keeping it simple. Always good with the Converse. And last one, just to stay in the realm of food because of your craft service. Favorite snack? Just go to.
Beef jerky.
Beef jerky. All right. Good stuff.
And they have that every day, all day.
Oh man, that'd be so good. It's so expensive at like gas stations. You're just like, I'm gonna pop in and grab some jerky.
Well, when I went into the craft trailer and saw it, I was like, I'm like leaning up towards the bag, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, wait, I mean the whole bag? Like, yeah, grab it.
Me? Yeah.
Okay.
And just because we glossed over, this will be our last thing, and then we'll wrap this up. What are you listening to, music-wise?
All right. The other day, they had me. We were we were on set, and they needed me to drive all the way back to the 31st Studios, which wasn't, it's not the shortest drive. I need to get some road closed signs. And it was the first time I decided, because my coworker left his aux cord in the van, the work van. And like, you know what? I'm going to listen to some uplifting trance music. And I almost crashed like 3 times because I lost myself so heavily. I forgot, like you can forget how not everyone is into music like we are, but man, was that therapeutic. So yeah, trance music.
So the no particular artist, just the general.
I go on my Spotify and I have a certain trance playlist and I just go number 1, let's go through it. But man, that small 25-minute window of driving there and back and listening to that, it upped my mood. I forget sometimes, because you listen to podcasts, and podcasts are way easier to listen to than music. Because music has an emotional attachment to it. podcasts, you just listen to them. So sometimes I forget to go, you need to listen to some music. And that day I was in the van. People thought it was probably nuts, but it's fun.
No, that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. And now that we're done with all the questions, what do you have as a piece of advice for someone who'd want to get into this line of work?
That's like the only sucky part about this is you have to know someone. And
so you didn't go to school for this or anything? Like
no, I didn't go to school. We didn't even get into that.
I usually do that first, but
Well, regardless, I was working in a laundromat. A guy was dropping off his laundry for years, and eventually I got to know him more and more and realized he was a locations manager. And I had a bad day there one time, and I said, "Hey man, I don't really know what you do, but if you can help me, I'll take anything you give me." 6 months later, he said, "I have a Highmark commercial for you to PA on." And it all started from there. You have to know someone. You have to get to know people. I don't really think there's a way that you can. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong, but go online, get to know what goes on in your city, with filming and commercials, and put your name out there as much as possible if you don't know someone.
And talk to people and know people. And I think, I can't think of a better way to end the first episode than, just talk to people.
Yeah.
Networking is the most important thing you can do to get in any field. Even if you have an excellent resume, you can float that around all over town.
I mean, there's politicians that how'd they get that far? And it's simply because of that.
Yeah. Oh, I know a guy.
Because they know people and they're able to move up the ladder, even if they're an idiot. They move up the ladder and they're fine. I'm an idiot. I'm going to be moving up the ladder.
Yeah, it's a great thing to know. Never give up on yourself, no matter how dumb you think you are.
Yeah, it's just
go out, meet people, network, be friendly,
and have one thing I'm learning, because I'm a pretty negative person. You have to be positive. You have to be positive. You have to keep yourself positive, and
Yeah, and it sounds corny, but it's very true. Positivity is such a good thing. Even if you don't think it's making a difference, it will.
It will.
People notice. People notice people going through their day and just being happy about it. Even if you're painting on that face, just go for it.
Because if you're painting on that face, they at least know. They could say to themselves, "I know he's miserable, and he's fighting against it. He's fighting against being miserable."
Yeah, and you can tell even if you go to the movies and someone's ripping your ticket, and you're like, "That guy hates his life.
Yeah,
you just ruined my mood by 10% by how miserable you are." So it's good thing to live by.
This job that I'm doing is tough. It's horrible. It's fantastic. It's an opportunity for much greater things. I'm miserable. I'm happy. And,
And that's where you live now.
Yeah.
You live there.
That's where I live. I live there now. Yeah. This has been cool.
Perfect. Thanks. Well, that was the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said at the top of the show, if you'd like to be interviewed, or you know someone who has an interesting job or just a regular job that might have some interesting parts in it, please get a hold of us at our Instagram page at TakeMeTYD. Just any comments, any suggestions, we're taking on all comers. And I look forward to hearing from you.